It's live.
We're live. Bad
Just
Frogz
a
Rising.
moment. It's got about a 7 second delay on it.
Okay.
You let Michelle do her thing.
I was right.
She's gonna introduce.
Almost.
This is a long 7 seconds.
Oh yeah.
I'm sharing.
Okay.
All right.
That's a long 7 seconds.
There we go. Right. All right. There we go. Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Ozzy, Saint Anger Productions. Today we have Bad Frogs Rising with us. How are we doing today, guys?
We're doing great.
Ribbit and roll. Ribbit and roll.
Y- yes. All right. So I fully support local entertainment. However, local is not limited to just Tonkwad, Tulsa, or wherever. Local can literally be anywhere you're located. Local is your scene, your location. So, with that being said, tell me a little bit about what local means to you. What is your location, and describe your local entertainment scene?
Okay, so we are in BFE. Or BF.
BFO.
Nick says BFO, Bumfuck, Oklahoma. We're in the middle of
Mhm.
nowhere. So our local is anywhere in the state and maybe the edges of surrounding states to
Okay.
us. You know, we've got kids. We can't, our local has to be close to home where we can be home every night. So, yeah.
Okay. So, how far is y'all's reach, and how far are you actually willing to take your music?
This becomes a three-part question.
Okay, so I know our band reaches people in Washington State and even on the East Coast in Pennsylvania.
Oh, wow.
We have friends and followers from there. We have friends and followers from the Gulf of down Gulf of Mexico region up into Minnesota. So our reach is out there. Might not be a lot of people that we're reaching, but we have people in every area of the United States that follow us like hardcore. We've had a friend of mine that I went to school with. He has an inn at a bar that does live music in Washington State that wants new talent coming in.
Hmm.
He's been hitting me up 2, 3, 4 times a week trying to get us to Washington. Well, is an Oklahoma band that, we work 9 to 5s. Well, I don't, but they do for the most part. Um, it makes it hard to be able to just pack up
Hmm.
and go to Washington State, especially having kids at home. But we have that opportunity. It's just not easy to do it. Nick's got friends in Illinois.
Yeah, I've got friends from Illinois, Missouri, Michigan. There's people that support us from all over the place. I mean, this is not my first band, and
Hmm.
I want it to be my last.
You going bigger.
But
Sorry.
currently, there's a lot of people out there that know who I am from watching old YouTube videos from a
Either
band.
from your band or from wrestling.
Yeah, and I am an ex pro wrestler at that same fact. And I've done things all over the place to entertain people. Entertaining people is kind of what my life has become, even though I have a brain that don't stop working.
But we're not going to go on the work spectrum.
No, and I'm not.
I will hit him on live camera if he goes into the work spectrum.
I'm not going into what I do for a living. John, your turn.
Where's your reach?
Well, I know there's people on our TikTok that we have going that I turned my own page into the main page, and then the secondary page as well is on TikTok. But I know we have people from UK, we have people from Africa, we have people from Liverpool, to be exact, in England. We have people in California, Florida. I have people watching all over the place too, as well. It's just like you said, keep it local. But if we can take it somewhere, I would like to go on that journey.
But local doesn't mean just
right now
in a town.
I would like to play anywhere and everywhere.
Bring it.
With everything.
So, okay. So we'll do this one. We'll do this one. I mean, I would typically say go around in a circle, but you guys are lined up. So go down the line, whichever way you want to go.
Well, she's first. It's all about her. 100%.
It's not all about me.
It is. 100%.
So, who are you? Like, what is your name? How did you get into music, and what instruments do you play?
Okay, I'm Crystal.
Hi, Crystal.
I do vocals. Once in a while, I'll pick up the guitar or the bass. I've been into music for as long as I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
My first musical thing that I can remember, I was about 5 years old, and we were singing at church. And I was singing with my cousins, and we were singing the song "He's Got the Whole World in His Hands."
The whole world.
I was the smallest. I was the youngest out of all my cousins that were already in double digits, and I was 5. And I took the microphone from them and said, "I sing this. You're not allowed." And I told them to shut up in church. My venture into guitar, which I don't do. I mean, when we're playing, I don't do a whole lot of because I'm still learning. Started when my late husband passed away 11 years ago.
Wow.
And then in the past, 2 years, I've started picking up the bass.
Yeah.
About
2 years.
About 2 years, I started picking up the bass, trying to learn some of that. But I've been doing vocals and singing for literally as long as I can remember. Nick here, John.
John's next.
He wants to go to John.
Hello, my name is John. I've been playing for quite some time now, more the past 4 years than any other time, for sure. But my brother got me into playing music.
And he does our guitar.
And I play guitar, and I still like to dabble with playing bass and drums.
I didn't even mention drums because we both suck at drums.
No, I still.
You gotta start somewhere.
We both like to mess with drums.
I like fiddling with a lot of different instruments, though. I'm better at guitar, rhythm guitar especially. I'm learning lead as I'm going, and it's not an easy task.
Especially for a 3-piece band that doesn't have multiple guitarists. or a bass player. You know,
Mhm.
that puts double duty on these two.
Then
Yeah.
I've also been dabbling in vocals a little bit recently, especially with our song "Sweet Voodoo."
Which
Still need some
If you
work, but
guys
we're
haven't
getting
ever
there.
caught these people live, if you guys haven't ever caught them live, Sweet Voodoo is a fun song.
Yeah.
yeah, well,
It's my baby.
and Sweet Voodoo's out there live on the page and all of our individual pages.
It's also on the group.
Yep.
Ozzy has also shared it from St.
So
Anger.
Sweet Voodoo is out there. It's just not out on all
Any,
the
we don't have
all
anything
the
on
main
platforms yet.
deals
Yeah.
like like Spotify or anything like
We
that.
don't have anything on
We haven't
platforms
put it
yet.
out there like that because we're working on our CD, and that's one of the main songs that's going to be on
Right.
that CD.
Your go on.
I am Bad
Yep.
Frog Nick. I am the
Yep.
drummer of the band, but I dabble in bass guitar and rhythm guitar, and I do all of
The backup
the
vocals.
backup vocals. So I've been doing this for
30 years.
30 years.
Wow.
And I don't feel like I'm more precedent than either of these two because I've been doing it for 30 years. Because without them,
Hmm.
I wouldn't be doing it.
So, tidbit
Exactly
that a
how
lot
I
of
feel.
people don't know about Nick is that 8 years ago, he gave up playing drums, like completely. Sold off all of his gear except for a double kick,
Certain things.
a bass drum, and a tom.
Hi-hat.
Oh, a hi hat. That's all he kept.
Hmm.
I mean, he went through a rough patch, and it wasn't a financial; it was the loss of a family member, and he just gave up on it. Even though people had tried to sign him in the past,
Hmm.
in 2017, I met him, and I was like, "What's the point of having drums if you're not going to play them?"
Hmm.
Because he had acquired, because his brother had given him the pieces that he needed, and he had an electric set, and he set them up, but he never would play them. And I was like, "What's the point in having them if you don't play?" Well, I got him to playing again, but he would only play if nobody was in the room. So I would wait on the floor outside the door and watch him. Yeah. Because if I opened the door and went in, he wouldn't play. Well, here we are many years later, and I've got him back on stage, not where I want him to be, but doing what he does. And he's amazing at it.
Yes, he is.
You really just gonna
Nick,
sit
what
there
got
and
you into
nod.
drumming to begin with?
Nod. Because I don't like to boast about myself. There's many other drummers that are better than I am, and there's many other drummers that would say the same thing about me. But I don't like to boast about myself because I've got so many years of experience. Yes, I do. But I've been playing with people that from
From
20,
beginner,
20 years older than me to my age to 20 years younger than me. I mean, there's a spectrum of which I don't like to boast because I'm not the best. If I was going to say anything about this right now, Neil Peart would be where I would want to be, but I'm not. I'm never going to be a Neil Peart. But I enjoy what I do, and I'm going to continue to enjoy what I do.
It might be biased, but you're my Neil Peart.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely
Aw. So, but that's what it's all about, though. Just doing what you enjoy doing. You
And
know, how do
I
you
totally
describe
enjoy
who the best is?
doing.
yeah.
nobody
How do you
can
describe
say
who the best is?
everybody has their own best.
Hmm.
There is no one guitarist, bass player, vocalist, drummer that everybody could agree is the best because it all depends
Thank
on
you.
your genre, what you listen to, what you like, on who you're going to determine is the best.
What
Hmm.
is your best? That's what she's asking. What is your best?
My best
Hmm.
on vocals, I would have to go country,
Go country.
and it'd be Crystal
Tell the
Gale.
people.
I'm a country girl. My best would be Crystal Gale, Loretta Lynn. I'd go old school.
John,
Hmm.
you're up next on that. Who's your
My
best?
mine is I'm classic rock and rock in general.
No,
I'll,
let's give some names.
Not not a
well,
genre, an artist.
well, Alex Lyson being definitely there. He's definitely one of my influences for sure. Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, a lot of them older guitarists for sure are my influences. B.B. King, Eric
And
Clapton.
you're jumping ahead. Talking about influences, but yeah,
You done
those are
jumped
some.
ahead.
He went to his influences. That's the next question.
These are.
Keep in mind, we read the questions like a month ago.
I know, but I don't remember
I don't
things
know.
like that.
I didn't even
If
know
it
that.
ain't
I'm
in my
sorry.
topic of the day, I don't remember that. Okay.
Leave it to Jose to be metagaming over there.
Hold on,
What's the question?
Uh, no, you was just talking about how you don't like to boast and that you're not the best, but that's why I was asking is like how do like who is the best and how can you say who is the best and who's not the best? It's like it's
It's not even the
like
best.
Crystal was
It's
saying, it's
not
almost
even
kind of
the best
unfair.
that comes to me. It's more of a
who you aspire to be.
who brings it out in me to do the things that I do, because we've got all kinds of bands.
Well, like I said,
Wow,
it all
Rush being
depends.
number one, and then we got Blink 182 out there that's got a badass drummer, and then we've got
Hmm.
Bush. I love everything Bush. Period. So anything Bush that I can retroactive beat to, I'm going to do.
But what she's asking is like, how do you define what is the best?
I don't define
There
the
is
best.
no definition because
There is
every
no
genre
best.
has
There
a
is no
different,
best.
and every person can have their favorite guitarist, drummer,
I mean, we
bass
played
player,
shows that
singer.
were freaking metal shows that I
Give-
think we got the biggest pops tonight on St. Anger Production.
Yeah, we felt like the outcasts, but dude,
We got the biggest pops that night.
or at least we felt like we did.
Hmm.
And it was a metal show. We are not a metal band.
Really enjoyed
Yeah,
it.
and you were fun.
Yeah.
I've watched you
Well,
guys
that's
play
what we
once,
try to do. We
and
try to be
you
fun.
guys are an amazing band to have play live. Yeah. So, um, old Johnny commented, Nick is a good drummer. His brain works in the most unique way. Anytime I ever had a weird song idea or some strange rhythm, he would just pick it up immediately and lock in. He's dope.
Thank you, Johnny B.
And that's the thing about this. I could throw up some like weird lyrics, and my lyrics always come out country anytime I write them.
Yeah, but I have to make that rock.
And he'll throw out a rock beat to him. And this one over here, will like, I don't even know what he does half the time. Sometimes I don't think he knows what he does. But he'll throw out like a country rock guitar riff to go with them. You know, because I am a full-fledged country girl. Born and raised in Oklahoma. These two are both Illinois boys.
Yeah, straight up.
Yep,
Illinois.
Like, sometimes I don't think they heard country music until they moved to Oklahoma.
Then you're wrong on that. I
Uh,
grew up with my mom
Yeah.
listening to Loretta Lynn and everybody else.
I was just
Behind
listening
it.
to Faith Hill yesterday.
It's just one of those. No, it's just my preference in music. I want to be a rock artist. I don't want to be a country artist, even though I know there's a thin line between them. And I don't mind doing country, but I love doing rock.
As long as we're playing, for sure.
That's all he wants to do is just play. Don't care what it is. He just wants to play. And I just want to sing. I can come up with
You know, I
lyrics for
believe
anything.
this is where I need to go ahead and just pipe up and say this. This is where our sound comes from, is spinning all three of our intakes into it to make it happen. Because
And you do.
without
You
the
make it
country
happen.
boys, we wouldn't have the sound that we have, like on Standing, Slowly, Sweet Voodoo. There's 3 songs that are about to hit the market that we actually have recordings of that are ready to go.
We just haven't.
They've just never been mastered. I've done work on them and made them sound better.
Mhm.
So there's 3 that, yeah, we'll put on Marshall Rock and we'll put on the Cat. I'm not afraid to put things on the Cat. But the first thing that goes on the Cat, the first time they reach out and ask for somebody to come and do an interview, I'm there every day. In Oklahoma City, I will go do an interview with them. I just,
Cat, you hear
it's
that?
not
Hear
about
that, Cat?
me.
Hey,
Yeah, it's,
Cat Local Talent Show.
it's not about me. It's about us.
The music.
Well, and then you ask me, and it's not about us, it's about him. I want him to go
The music.
somewhere
For sure.
further than what I feel we can go. But that's me holding us back, not intentionally, but just knowing this boy has 35 years experience over us two. That's a lot.
Hmm.
You know, and sometimes I feel as the wife and band member that I hold him back. Well, and that I even hold this one back because this one can outdo me now.
Next question, please.
Nick says, next question, please.
So, how do you see your future in music? Whether it's individual, as a band, how do you see your future?
Well, we know how she's trying to push me, so
Yeah.
let's just
we
start
know,
there.
We know that future.
And I'll let her go ahead and give her answer now. But you understand where I'm coming from.
Okay,
Mhm.
I would love to go further on vocals, but as a one lung vocalist, that's going to be hard to do. You know, I can't hit the notes that say Evanescence would hit.
Well, why don't you just call her by name, Amy Lee?
And I can't do the screamo growl that say Ginger does.
Yeah,
So it's a little where would I fit to go further? I'm not sure. But I know I want to continue to do music
Mhm.
until my lung won't let me do it anymore. Now, these two, I want to push as far as I can push them, whether it be with the Bad Frogs and us bringing in another vocalist to help out when needed, or me do backups and them take over the lead. But I want these two to go as far as possible. And
Okay.
now they're both
So
not able to say
Go
anything.
ahead, John.
that I mean that works. So let me ask you
Yeah.
this one. Let me ask you this one because this one's not on the list. But you talked about earlier how being without a bass player, you straight up said it puts more work on the other two, which it does.
Yes.
As a drummer myself, you know, it's nice to have a good bass player. So let me ask this: one of the big controversies in music nowadays is people playing tracks and stuff like that during the live shows. Do you feel that that be something that could benefit you guys that as you're going through recording your songs and stuff, that you lay down a bass track, you have it recorded, and that way you have a bass line while you're in show?
It could benefit, but it's not something we're willing to dabble in yet. Because yes,
Okay.
it makes it harder for John and Nick, but you can't tell when we're playing live that we're only a three piece. It's a guitar and a drum.
Okay.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go next on this one.
Okay.
I can put a bass track down that we needed to put down to play to.
Hmm.
It's just I'm not a bass guitarist. I am a drummer.
And we're
I
not
just
Hmm.
know how I play, and I play the bass to what I would play.
well, and I want to throw
Hmm.
this out there. We're not opposed to having tracks. One of our favorite, and I hate that I missed him just not that long ago at
Right?
Incom, Freitas.
Shout out, Freitas.
Shout out, Freitas.
Hmm.
He writes his own tracks and he dubs over and he plays and he sings. Dude is an amazing musician, so we have no ill will towards, you know, dubbing a track and playing over it. It's just not something we have started tinkering with yet. I have an issue with I can't do an in ear.
I'm also going to
Hmm.
give a shout out to Ethan.
Yeah, me too. Hi,
From
Ethan. Hi, Ethan.
Ethan, if you're
okay,
watching, shout out, brother. You can play a damn bass guitar, and
okay.
I would have you every fucking day of the week.
Ethan Michelle is from Bloodlust
Sorry, I don't
Revival.
remember.
These two got to meet him at your place. I've yet. I've heard him play, but that's still not a dubbing over thing. That's just you
No,
giving a shout out to a
that's
bassist.
giving a shout out to a
That's
bassist
right.
because that dude can play a bass
Yeah,
guitar.
you can. Shout out to
But
Raven
Yeah.
for playing guitar
this isn't
from
a
Bloodlust.
shout out
Hmm.
section. This is a
No,
dub over.
but
Oh, yeah.
if I was going to have anybody dub something for us to do with, it would be Ethan
Or Josh Randall.
or Josh Randall from
Used to be Low Level
Low Level
Devils. I
Devils.
don't know if they're still playing or not,
But they're both welcome to do things with us, and they both know it.
Okay. Oh, so here's one that like you look at a lot of businesses and stuff, which being a band is a business.
It is.
You got a lot of businesses that'll have a mission statement. What from the band perspective? What is the band's mission statement?
Why you point at me?
Come on,
Yeah,
come on.
I agree
You've got
with
the
his
mission.
point.
You've got the mission statement. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay, our mission statement is old. It don't matter. We keep
Hold on, you
everything.
froze up. You froze up a little bit. You have to start over.
Oh, so she's got to spit all that stuff again. Yeah.
Okay,
Oh, rock on.
our thing as a band is everybody's included. It don't matter if you're black, white, young, old, gay, straight, lesbian, trans. It's family friendly. We do not use vulgarity in any songs. You know, and music is a way to release. I feel like no,
Yes.
I'm not frozen.
No,
Okay.
no,
But
you're
music
good.
is a way to release. It is a way for everybody to express themselves, whether they're playing, dancing to it, singing to it. It doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You know, music is all inclusive. It doesn't matter who you are. If you enjoy it, you enjoy it. You know, and to
Yes.
me, that's my thing. It's not about me singing, it's about me bringing joy to one person, even in a crowd of 100 million.
Forget about that
As
number.
long as
Let's think about if you're
no,
playing in front of just one person, you want that one person to enjoy themselves. That's the way that I feel about it. I mean, and yeah, if you're in front of a crowd of 100 million, you want all of them to fucking feel it.
well, I
But
would,
right now, like the memes say on Facebook, if you don't play in front of one person, you can't expect this. Okay, so let's just start there, and that's the way I feel about it. Is I'd rather play 100% for one person,
but that's not
just
mission,
like playing 100% for 100,000 people.
but that's not mission statement.
No, but you went off tangent a little bit there,
I might have.
and just stating
Then
how I feel
Well,
about
why-
that part of it
why point at me?
because
Mwah.
I expected you to actually.
Mission statement. We're all inclusive.
That is the mission statement: is we are all inclusive. But when you go off on a tangent, somebody has to stop you. Okay,
All for one.
John says all for one.
and one for all, 100%.
What are we? The Three
Or three for
Musketeers?
all.
Well,
I
we could
mean-
put it that way, but that's the way things work.
Yeah.
It takes the three of us to make things happen.
It does.
So, how do you guys write
You just need to be
your
stopped.
songs? Oh, do what?
I said, I'm sorry. She just needed to be stopped.
Vocalists.
My bad.
No, you're good. Bad frogs? Okay. So, when it comes to writing your songs, do you write from a lyrical standpoint, a musical standpoint, or you just kind of incorporate both? Like lyrically, something
Okay, so
meaningful versus.
normally the words come and I give them a rough idea on how I want it to sound. And then the drum line comes in and then the guitar comes. Any of our original songs have a meaning
Have been written before the music was played.
and they have like a sentimental, especially to me, connection. Like Dry Well which is one of our newest songs, was wrote from a mom's perspective about, taking
Talking
care of the
about
family and just giving everything to the family and nothing to themselves.
Okay.
Stand In,
Mm.
which is one of our more popular songs, was a song that I came up with the lyrics for after being told that I would never be able to play guitar or sing vocals because I wasn't good enough. No, not even to rap. It was just
To
everybody.
rock music.
Yeah, to rock music. Because I was told I wasn't good enough, that I would never get it.
Wow.
Sweet
proved it
Booty,
wrong.
which is kind of a fun mashup that we did.
That's like the first song that took off. Sweet Voodoo was the first song that took off. And people started singing it with us everywhere that we played it.
But even the song Sweet Voodoo, which was our first original lyrics, I was told the lyrics weren't good enough by a bandmate at that point.
Neither of us.
No, neither of these two. Back when we were a four-piece, the first time we tried to be a four-piece.
Yep.
That's whenever Stand In also came in, because I was informed that girls can't sing or play rock music.
And I had her back.
You
No.
proved him wrong.
Females can definitely sing rock music.
I have to vacate for a second. Y'all keep going.
Okay. No. Straight up.
So like
She had-
musically
she
then,
had a
when it comes to the
major problem after we lost that bandmate. And she didn't want to do it no more. And we just had to push her to do it. And she did. And she actually came through with several songs after that. And
good.
that's where we are today.
Yep.
Is that she kept it, and she kept doing what she does to write our music for us. I do a little bit of writing, but I normally just sing the backups for everything.
Sorry.
And it's because I learned how she's singing it, and I do it. And it's not easy to do behind a drum set. Okay?
Mm-mm.
Being able to sing and play the drums at the same time is the hardest thing that I've ever encountered in my life.
Hmm. So let me ask you this one: when it comes to writing the actual music parts, do you write it more melodically? Do you try and write it straightforward? Like, how do you tell us a little bit, describe your music for us?
I try to match what she's singing.
Yeah.
Because if I can match what she's singing, John can match me. Which means that we can vacate the fact that we don't have a bass player all the time. We have bass players that'll come and play for us, but we don't have a bass player all the time. So we have to do that outside the realm. So
Hmm.
her writing the words, me coming up with the beat, and John putting a rhythm with my beat. That is the rhythm section of the whole deal, is having the beat with the rhythm.
That's what.
And then when John can break off and do a lead, John can break off and do a lead. But I still have to keep the rhythm.
Now, whenever I write something just musically, not vocally, which I have an issue putting vocals to what I write musically, it is very, very melodic.
Very.
Okay.
Like trancey type melodic.
That's where I guess I.
But it gives that rock, like we don't have words for any of the stuff that I've written on guitar, but we have bass beats, rhythm beats, lead beat or leads, and bass that like John can jump onto the bass and me play what I play on guitar and Nick be on drums, but we have no words. And it is very trancey, very melodic,
Very sweet,
very,
British.
very metal at the same time.
Hmm.
Not a, how would my dad say it? A beat your head on the dashboard metal, but that, you know, Michelle laughed.
We had a laugh out of Michelle, so that's something that she's heard in the past.
But it's like that trancey metal, like you want to jump around, but you want to just vibe type of music, you know. And I don't do that real often because I don't know how to write lyrics to that.
She doesn't. I'll agree with her. She doesn't, and that's when I
Keep
have
it instrumental.
to write the lyrics that she can't write because I am also the hype man as well as backup singer.
See, I'm a metal girl in soul, but I'm a country girl in heart. So everything comes out country until I put a guitar in my hand. And then the metal comes
Okay.
out, and then my brain turns off, and no words come out.
She can't sing to her own fucking recordings on guitar. She can't do that. She can't even do it while she's playing the guitar.
Well, there's one song I can.
One.
But it's not a song I wrote either. So
No. It's a cover. And it's one of the best covers I think that we do.
But let's go on to the next question.
There we go. Somebody else said next question. Not me.
I love you guys.
I just
So-
feel like you put me on the spot.
You gotta love us, Michelle. We're the bad Frogz, man.
I like that.
Okay, so I'll do this one. Johnny. Not Johnny. Jose. Wrong J. Jose.
Hello.
Your question.
Now, without going into details regarding hot topics such as politics, religion, or any other debatable hot topic, describe the morals of the band.
Oh.
I would say our morals as a band, for sure, it would be to play for the little guy.
I want to play for everybody.
You know, to play for some of the bands that never got anywhere, and some of the bands that got passed up and keep getting passed up day by day by these bigger productions and bigger record companies and labels. And I would say our morals are based on we play for everybody, no matter anything like that, any political or anything like that. We play for everybody. I would say our morals is just to keep everybody's good moods and good vibes going and just treat everybody like they would like to be treated fairly.
I like that.
It's a good answer.
So, do any of y'all have any other current projects that you're working on?
We've got a couple shows coming up, and we're working on getting some stuff to Marshall Rock, the Cat, and hopefully Spotify. But as individuals, we don't really have anything.
No, they're just pushing me to do what I do.
We're pushing him to try and go further. Or at least I'm pushing him.
Both of you guys are. It's not just
Yeah.
you. It's
Oh
both
yeah.
of you guys are pushing me to try out for bands
For
that are looking
bigger,
for a drummer.
for bigger national, worldwide no mans that are looking for drummers. We're kind of pushing him. Not that we want him to leave, because trust me, I don't.
But they want me to go further. And I don't I
He's,
don't know how to feel about it.
he's kind of refusing, honestly, Michelle.
So then, Nick,
Okay. What's your question?
while they push you, while they push you to go further, are you pushing back to make the band go further?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
That's
if the
a hundred
band
percent
goes further, that means you're going further.
if
Because
the
if
band
the
goes
band goes
further,
further, that means you're going further.
correct. I don't need to join a named band to get further. And that's my
Hmm.
disagreement with them is they
This stems from several years
this
ago.
is several years ago. I could have been tried out for Five Finger Death Punch drummer. It was not put in my spectrum to see it.
Hmm.
So
My
therefore
bad.
I never tried.
I let him know a week before the tryouts for the new
Ended.
drummer ended that we were fixing to get married. And, you know,
There was a lot of stuff in play, so I don't discredit her.
and we weighed the pros and cons in that
And we
week.
did. And
And he opted not to do it, but I still felt responsible because I waited until that week to even let him know that it was an option. And this fool can play
I can play every Five Finger Death Punch song that's out there,
plus.
as well as Pantera, from Vocal Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, and Hell's far what's it? Uh,
You're
what's
drawing
the
a
other
blank, so
one?
don't even say
Cowboys from Hell.
Cowboy.
it.
I can play anything from any of those tracks. That's the
You can
first
play it,
things
you
that I
just
learned
can't
how to
say it.
play on.
But that's why I push him to do more than what we are. Is because I felt like I held him back.
I don't feel like you held me back. I feel like you held me in contention so that I could get to where I am now. And that's how I feel about it. Yes, at the time, you kept me from doing it. But now, it was the right move to make.
Hmm. So you guys have talked about some of your influences. Let's go back down the line. Talk a little bit more about who influenced you musically, but also who influenced you in life. You know, like an author, a poet, you know, whoever. You know, who's influenced you during life and who influenced you musically.
Does it have to be an author or a poet?
No, it doesn't. It has to be who influenced you. Do it.
Okay, honestly, my mama was my biggest influence. My daddy was a farmhand, so mom had to take care of everything. So I was taught between mom and dad to never rely on a man. That if they can do it, I can do it. You know, and trust me, I rely on these two a lot. But I don't ask them for help unless I've already tried and failed probably more times than I could count and just have to ask for help. You know, and that's the way my mama was. And she also would always speak her mind. She
She still does.
she still does. And this thing gets on to me because I will either speak my mind like my mama, or I will bury it inside like my daddy, and then blow up, unfortunately, at some unsuspecting passerby
That becomes a problem.
that gives me a strange look, and it's like, well, why the fuck are you looking at me like that?
Yeah, because she doesn't know how to stop. Hit the stop button. She just doesn't know how to do
But my biggest influence, honestly, is my mom. Because she never faltered.
it. John, you're going next. Who's your biggest influence? I mean, like personal influence, not just a band, not something that you heard.
No.
What's your biggest personal influence? And I know it's your brother.
Maybe not.
Yes, it is.
Get out of John's head.
It is his brother.
That's my biggest influence. He went through some
Will has been
situations.
through some things.
He's can't play guitar anymore as much as he'd like and stuff like that. Went through some life changes. And I just kind of want to keep that going for him too. And he influenced me to start playing because he played, and I just kind of followed along, and I've been playing ever since. And he's definitely my biggest influence, besides my mother giving me the music gene to listen to music and how to feel it.
All right, is it my turn?
Yep, your turn. We're fixing to hear a rant. No.
No, my biggest influence are my big bandmates. Tom Burr, Joe Floyd, Richard Larkin. If you guys are watching this video, you guys are my biggest influences to keep doing what I do. Is Mr. Magoo and the C&I Dogs, shout out. I know it's no longer existing, but shout out. All you people have something to do with where I am today. And will always have something to do with where I am in days to pass. And that's like my biggest influences. But my biggest influence is my pops, Kevin Hawley. He's the one that even shoved me in the way that I needed to be shoved to even start playing the drums for a band. And without him, I wouldn't be who I am.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
Next question.
That's sentimental. I mean, there.
Yes, he did. Yes. So I'll give you some time to breathe, and I'll ask Crystal this one. Crystal, what would you
Yes.
look for? What do you look for when you're booking venues?
My biggest thing is family friendly.
Yeah, but we can't always have family friendly though, and that's becomes a dilemma.
I know, but that's my biggest thing on a venue is I like it to be somewhere all ages can go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to just be playing to the over 21 and drunk crowd that's probably too busy on their cell phone to listen to the music.
Probably
Mhm.
100%.
I would rather be playing for, honestly, the little kids that are going to get out there no matter what you sound like, even if you feel like you sound horrible, and are going to be out there rocking out
Without judgment.
without any judgment because it's music and they think you're a freaking rock star just because you're on stage. I like the family
Yeah.
friendly environments that are
Mhm.
all ages. That's what I prefer to do.
Okay, and to elaborate on where she was just coming from, is our nephews love to hear us play, whether it's here at the lily pad or out at a venue.
Hmm.
Like my favorite,
Them boys don't not come in here when we're in here.
I love playing the Bowman. It was in all ages. But
Hmm.
one of my favorite places. It is small and little,
But
but it is.
we gotta get the income a shout
But
out.
it's Incom Cyber Hall. It is little,
Shout out to Income.
but it is a family friendly environment. No alcohol, nothing like that. All ages. We've had little bitty kids in there to grown adults just rocking out, no judgment. And my favorite thing is seeing the young ones
Come out and enjoy.
be able to come out and enjoy the music.
Even if they had to
Yeah.
have earplugs and stuff in. Hey, you know what? If you have to have earplugs in, you have to have earplugs in. Most
Yeah.
of
How?
us currently have a hearing problem because we've listened to music without earplugs.
And I still do.
And so do I.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't go to a concert with the earplugs in.
No.
I go to the
I've
concert
thought
to
about it.
listen to the damn
Never
concert.
do.
But yeah, that's my preference on a venue. Is I like places that
Okay.
there's no age
And
restriction.
we're not going to go a 3 round on this question because we all agree with this.
Yes.
Because we all have kids.
They're
Some
under
some of
21.
us are some of us have kids that are older, and some
Yeah.
of us have kids that are younger.
Yeah.
And so kids in a whole sense goes from anything under our age
Yeah.
to let's just drop down to Gabe's age.
6.
He's the youngest. He's 6 years old, but he loves to
Hmm.
listen to us play.
You know, and how can you have music if you're not spreading it to the younger generations and those younger generations can't be involved in it? They're not going to be into music the way we are if they can't experience it firsthand.
Hmm.
However, Gabe is going to be a drummer.
Well, thinks he is.
I
He's
know
gonna be what he
Gabe
wants to
is
be.
going to be a drummer. Gabe is going to be me at some point in time.
So you brought up cell phones a little bit ago. That's another controversy item that I want to ask you about. How do you feel about cell phones at concerts?
I
Jose, back to
love
you.
them. The more cell phones at a concert for us, is the more publicity that we get. I love them.
To
I'll
me,
answer it first, and I'll let everybody else do it
I agree.
because I have to vacate for a minute.
it depends. Are you streaming, like videoing clips and getting the band out there, tagging the band? Or are you sitting there just texting in the middle of a concert? Are you taking selfies and tagging the band? If you're tagging the band and post on social media that is then promoting the band, that is one thing. But if you're just sitting there on your cell phone and texting while listening, not even listening to the music, but the music's going on in the background, or you're trying to make a phone call while loud music's going on and things can't be heard anyway. There's a
Hmm.
difference. If you're using that cellular device to promote what you're listening to get them out there further, I'm all for it.
I
But
mean,
that's a good point too, though. Um,
yeah.
that a lot of people don't bring up that the difference between saying, "Hey, check out, X band," or I'm just at this lame concert because my partner over here wanted me to come check it out. I'm just bored. Uh, there's a difference.
Yeah.
Yes, there is a
Or
huge
there's also the
difference.
difference of just living behind the screen and being, especially the ones that are obnoxious about it that don't think about the people behind them.
Well,
Yeah.
or they
That's
always have
you know
their face on the screen even while the band is going on in the background. But it's all about them instead of, quick selfie, I'm in the corner and the band's behind me. Those.
Yeah, take as much pictures and video you want while we're on
I'm
stage.
not
And
But
everybody
promoting a
else says
band.
that too.
but tag the
Yeah,
band.
definitely tag the band as much as you can for anybody that does that for sure. Hey, check out this band. Hey,
Mhm.
yeah, put
Check out this
everybody.
band. Check out Robot
Yeah.
Army from Illinois.
You might turn your head that way.
I can do this even better. Check out
That's a
this
band out of
band.
Illinois.
Check out this band.
Okay, I'm sorry, I don't read binary code.
Well, the band is called Robot
Robot Army.
Army.
Oh, there is binary
What
code.
is that comment, Michelle?
It says, wait a minute, are you the lady that plays the fuck out of the
I'm back.
spoons?
No, that's
The
not
one thing
me.
about us,
But I know
period,
who they're talking about.
I
the one thing about us,
I know
we
I've played spoons.
something to do with us
Next person up.
because
The next band.
the next
group.
band could be better than what we are, and I'm all about that. And
Yep. Paying it
I
forward.
think I can speak for all three of us that we feel that way about it. When we find a band that we want to put in front of us to do a show with us to end the show, because I'm more than willing to open the show anytime, anywhere, any place.
Yep.
Well,
I'll open it,
hold on, this
but
next
let me
show we
put
have coming up, it was supposed to be a 3-band show.
right. And we
We're putting it together at Incom. We asked Brigade and Assault and Flattery to come along.
Mhm.
Well, you'd figure the band that's putting it together would headline it. We're not. We're opening.
We're opening,
And then it was supposed to be Brigade and Assault and Flattery.
and then we got
Well, we had a fourth option thrown in there, and he's from New York, and he's going to be in Oklahoma just that week.
and we put them in our show.
And we're still not. We've got him going on after us.
Mhm.
It's Bobcat, the one-man band. If you want to check him out.
All Alf songs. All Alf songs.
Oh, Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay songs. Alf. Alf. From when we were growing up. Alf.
But he's a one-man band, and he's really good.
So y'all check them out.
You know,
really good.
it's one of those. We had no clue who he was,
Hmm.
but heard he was passing through and was asked
And
if he might be able to.
we put it to the docket on who was already scheduled to be there to make sure that it was cool to add a fourth. and everybody else said it was cool. So we added a fourth.
So all the bands were willing to cut their sets from 45 minutes
to 30 minutes.
To 30 minutes to add a
Except
fourth.
for Assault and Flattery, because they're the closing band, so they get the full 45 minutes.
Yeah. But it's, to bring in other talent that we didn't know.
No, not at all.
But
we heard of them through the post, and that's how it was. And we looked them up, and we started, well, there's going to be some surprises. I can just say that much.
Okay. So, when it comes to people doing videos and stuff like that at shows, here's something that I seen on an interview a while back ago with a guy named Nick De La Cruz. He was interviewing the front of house person for Creed as they went back on tour. And one of the things that he brought up was that one of the people in the crowd had more followers on their TikTok than Creed.
Wow.
Than Creed had followers. You never know who's going to be in those shows and who's going to be watching on those live streams.
That's right.
Well, as long as that person isn't doing it just to get their.
I'm not opposed to people with the cell phones at shows.
Not really.
However, when it comes to where they're only promoting the damn self,
then there becomes an issue.
Then there's an issue.
If you're promoting yourselves by recording a band or a person or whatever, but not giving the credit to that other entity, then there becomes an issue, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're only getting popular and becoming bigger than Creed, for example, which that's the one you threw out.
Yeah, that's exactly.
Because you're going and recording yourselves at all these concerts, but not tagging the band or bands that you're watching, and recording yourself, not even paying attention to, because most likely you have your back to them. But most likely you have your back to the stage and you're recording yourself or your face with, them like this. And you're not giving credit to that band. And it's most likely their music that is like getting you noticed. Then there's an issue.
So, perfect example of the total opposite of what you're just describing was that night, February 15th, somebody that may have more followers than certain bands, don't know, don't care, just I'm doing this video.
Yeah, love this. That's awesome.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing the videos to be like, hey guys, Saint Anger Productions, check out what I can do. No, I'm doing that. Hey guys, check out Bad Frogz Rizing. Check out Audio Ascensions. Check out this band, that band, and try to get some of my followers to go follow you guys, which is the purpose of things like this.
The followers, my followers, 100%.
And thanks to Saint Anger Productions, we went to the Bowman with 109 followers on our Facebook page. We came back that night to 143 followers.
That night.
Yeah.
Now, to the rest of my followers, why aren't you following them?
Well,
I'm up to right around 750.
Well,
I'm up to about 750, so let's go. Get over there.
I mean, we know we're not, and this is the next song in the works.
Yeah.
We know we're not everybody's cup of tea.
We are already working on it. We're not everybody's cup of tea, but we are a lot of people's cup of tea.
You're my
And
cup of coffee.
there's meaning behind the words of that song as well.
hmm It's totally a meaningful song, and I can't wait for people to hear it. But this is the one thing that we're going to have to leave for people to understand and listen to it to be able to find out the reason why we wrote it the way that we did. Because this wasn't just a crystal thing. This was a me and crystal thing.
John's throwing some words in there
And
too.
there's words from all three of us that are thrown between this song that it is probably going to become bigger than Sweet Voodoo.
And it even pushes me out of my comfort zone.
Okay.
Because Sweet Voodoo,
So
I believe, is our biggest song. That's the song that gets the most
Let Michelle talk.
rep on all of everything that I've ever been on. So to be able to put together another song that I think is going to trump that song, I feel that way about it. And it's not just a me that feels that way about it. Yeah, she put
do
a
I
rep.
even want to ask?
What?
Said, do I even want to ask?
That's all.
That's nothing. My hand just got hairy.
No, put it down. Make me feel like dad now. Come on, get it out of the picture.
She is totally fine, I promise. Okay, so next one then. If you're gonna look for a manager, a producer, promoter, any of the like your upper
If I was
management
going to look for
people.
anybody, I don't have to look. I'm looking at the one that I would want to do it.
Okay, describe them. Describe what you're looking for.
You, 100%. You,
You who? Like describe.
you.
Not
Saying
every,
anger
not
production
every.
slash
And
Yes.
production.
You want something to do with us? Let's do it.
No, if you're looking for a manager, production agent, promoter, who would you look for?
I'm not going to look
Yeah, like
outside
what?
my zone.
Or what would you look for? We'd look for
Yeah,
somebody with some values.
Yes,
value.
for sure.
Okay,
Values
I've
are a big
heard. Well, I've heard value now. I've heard honesty. I mean, I've heard you got to put in the work. Just like we do.
Oh,
I've heard all kinds of good answers now.
we put in the work. You just have to do your part. And that's anybody. Whoever we would go underneath. I mean, they have to put in as much work as we do, or
Yeah.
otherwise, it's not a partnership. It's just
us paying them
us
for
paying
us to do the
them to
work.
get to do the work. And I don't want that.
And we've seen that. We've seen bands that are booking their own gigs that have an agent, and we're friends with these bands, but they're booking their own gigs that because their agent's like, oh, well, there's nothing. And then this band turns around and is
they're putting
booking
on shows
stuff
everywhere.
in
From here to
California.
California, they're putting shows on. But
Like
the
whiskey a go go.
booking agent can't do it for them. That's where I draw a line. Is when the band themselves can get booked somewhere besides where they're looking to be booked because of their presentation. That makes the whole world of difference to me.
And it makes you wonder what's the point in paying a
All right,
manager?
I'm just going to go ahead and give
Hold
them
on.
a shout out. Brigade, y'all motherfuckers keep doing what you're doing.
But it makes you wonder why pay an agent, manager, promoter to do it if you're going to have to do most of the work as the band to book these venues when they, so that steers us kind of away.
I don't want to get with the promoter if the promoter doesn't have the same deal in mind
Yeah.
with us.
Yeah.
Because we want to go a certain way. We don't want to make somebody else rich off of what we're doing.
And us, we already, we work 9 to 5s or whatever shifts we work.
All right,
so our bosses already make a dollar, we make a dime.
I haven't went into my job. I'm an operating engineer.
We're not going into work.
No. This is the only part that I'm going into work on.
Michelle, I told you I'd hit him.
Operating engineer. And
I get to hit him.
there's a lot of people in a lot of other bands that own the same damn position that I own. There's a lot of engineers out there that are drummers. And then you have Neil Peart, which was a professor in engineering. So
he's an engineering drummer, a drummer that he engineered the drums.
No, he was an engineer.
He was an actual engineer.
Right, I know, but he also engineered the drums.
Engineering.
Oh yeah.
Michelle says, I know, but he also engineered the drums.
Yes, he did. He did.
Yes.
He designed that whole kit that was a 360 realm around him that he could play on electric, acoustic, both of them together. I mean, the dude did his stuff.
The professor.
He was the professor.
The professor.
Most people relate to this. Your boss makes a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time. Why are you going to pay somebody else to do something you can do on your own?
Say it louder for the ones in back that's not paying attention.
Huh?
I said, say it louder for the ones in back that's not paying attention.
My boss makes a dollar, I make a dime. That's why I shit on company time. Why are you going to pay somebody else to do something you can do on your own?
She's right. She is 100% right.
And that's the way it seems like a lot of managers are now, is they're going to book you as a client where you're paying them.
That's well done. That's well done.
Yeah.
But you have to do all the work. You have to book the gigs and then have it approved through them. Well, if I have to book it, why do I have to approve it if you're not doing the work?
I ain't about to approve it to anybody else. I'm just gonna do it.
Yep, just do it.
And that's the way bands need to be.
Yeah. So Jose, let me bring this one up since you mentioned the TikTok earlier. This is one. This would be one up your alley then.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've seen a lot of rising TikTok stars.
Oh yeah.
Do you feel that it's right for these record labels, like these big time record labels, to basically wait until these people become the stars all on their own and then all of a sudden take them in? Because what happened to, back in the day with, look at how Toby Keith and some of these other big ones had to fight in Nashville just to get seen. And then you got these TikTok people that's rose to fame, and then all of a sudden, oh, you've already put in all that work, welcome to our label. How often do you see that?
Well,
quite a bit. I mean, nowadays for sure, with several stars out there, and then you got younger generations are becoming TikTok famous and YouTube famous too, and it's just a different world out there now. It really is for everybody, for musicians and artists alike.
Can I speak? Are you
Sure.
done?
Yeah, go ahead.
Kane Brown became Facebook famous.
He
I
sure
love
did.
Kane Brown.
That's what. Yeah.
He's freaking an awesome country artist. He's awesome. But he became Facebook
Yes.
famous before he did a show.
Well, even going before Kane Brown, Justin Bieber was the same way.
Well, no, Justin Bieber wasn't.
No, Justin Bieber got his start on Facebook, TikTok.
He didn't get his start the way that Kane Brown
No,
did.
not like Kane Brown, but
Kane Brown got his start to stardom from Facebook.
Yeah. Posts.
I love Kane Brown.
Everything
I
else.
love his music. I own both albums that he has. And I'm about to buy the newest one that he just released.
I can't.
I am a Kane Brown fan. That's not what this is about.
No, our daughter's the Kane Brown fan.
No,
Or was.
I'm a Kane Brown fan. I met him in Illinois before I moved to Oklahoma. At a show that became off of Facebook. So there is a realm where everything melds together.
Yeah.
From TikTok to Facebook to YouTube to Twitter to anything else that you could even possibly think about. All of it is shared everywhere.
Yeah.
So when something new is posted out there, it's seen everywhere because somebody has got something else that they're going to share it on. And this is the problem that I have with all of the people that are trying to promote people that they don't really know them people. Know them people. Because if you know them people, you can talk more about them. You can give more of a description. You can plug them more.
Or don't plug them once and never again.
Right. It's just I don't know. This is a hard question for me because I'm the musician. I'm the backbone of our band. And I look at it that way. And they look at it that way. I am the backbone of our band. Without me, there's no
It
rhythm.
would be
Scoop.
really rough to do any of it.
Scoop.
So it's this question strikes me at a point where there's multiple answers to this question, and I'm probably the wrongest answer because I've been doing it the longest.
Who says it has to be wrong?
Let's go
No.
down the line. No, it's not.
Well,
I'm not saying that it's wrong. I'm just saying that some people would think that I'm wrong.
Excuse me for a second.
Okay, so it's not that you're wrong. It's everybody has a difference of opinion on certain things.
And
anyway.
everybody has a just difference of opinion.
Dude, if you can get TikTok, Facebook, YouTube famous, albeit do it. I don't necessarily want to be known around the world for a video.
As a band that's on somebody that's already TikTok famous, I disagree with that. And
hold on, I was answering this.
Okay, and then tell me to shut the fuck up. It becomes that simple.
Family friendly, remember?
We're still a band.
We're still a band.
This is how it works. Shut the fuck up. Let me talk.
I'm all for somebody getting Facebook, YouTube, TikTok famous on their own, but don't use somebody else to get there.
Yes, 100%.
You know, and a lot of them do nowadays.
Well, yeah, because they go to a concert that a new and upcoming band's coming up,
Or
and they want to post a TikTok because they're at the concert. I get that, and that's the point that I have to come across as a fan. Is I want to do the same damn thing.
but we tag the band that we're watching.
That's right. We don't just
We
own it our
promote.
damn self.
That's the thing. If you want to become TikTok famous or Facebook, YouTube famous by using somebody else's content in your backdrop,
Hmm.
at least tag that
Who's doing
person, that band, whatever. I mean, like you don't go to Walt Disney World and not tag that you're at Walt Disney World.
No, everybody does.
You know, so why would
So when
you
you
go
when you go to a concert, why not do the same thing?
and at least tag the band that you've videoed in the background of your live that you're like facing the camera and the band's behind you? Why not tag that band while you're becoming TikTok, Facebook, YouTube famous to at least get them more exposure?
Hmm.
And that's what, and I'm going to say it this way, the kids nowadays are doing, they're going to these big venues, concerts, attractions, and not tagging where they are, not tagging who they're seeing.
Right. They just post it.
But the music is getting them views.
Right, because it's a band that's sought after for people like us.
That's my opinion anyway.
You know, and I share the opinion.
You know,
Because people like us, we're known namers. We are 100%. Let's just own that. Let's just start there. Okay?
I played in Tulsa on a big stage. I'm not a no name anymore.
No.
That's my opinion.
No,
That's been my dream.
We played in Tulsa on a big stage. That does not make us a big name anymore.
I didn't say I was a big name. I said I wasn't a no name anymore.
But
I played in
we're
Tulsa.
not a no name. People know us.
I'm a country girl from Southern Oklahoma.
People, when they hear us come on, they know who's on. That is what I have to 100% stand behind. When we come on stage, people know who's on stage.
All right. Can we go to the next question, St. Anger Productions?
Sure.
No, she
So,
was enjoying the argument that was going on. 100%.
All right.
So was everybody else that's listening.
I'm going to ask
Sorry,
this.
guys. This is how
live.
it always happens. So
I'm going to ask this live, St. Anger Productions. Michelle, Ozzy, however you want me to address you at the moment. Did other bands give this much debate between the band?
I gotta say, this is definitely the first.
yeah.
Well, that's what you have with a wife, a husband, and a nephew.
Yeah.
I love it.
When it's family oriented, it changes the spectrum a little bit.
All the family oriented bands out there that ever
Like,
was.
We as a band are not
Um,
afraid. Us as a band are not afraid to call each other on our bullshit
No,
because we're not just friends. We're family. We're stuck with each other regardless.
right, 100%.
In any band, whether you're blood related, marriage related, or just friends, should be like a family. You're stuck with each other,
Mhm.
and you should be able to debate like we have tonight.
We debated on
Yeah,
this
well.
interview. So,
Like I said, like we have tonight. But you notice there's no ill will anywhere. Anywhere.
No.
John's over here.
Yeah.
Nick's over
So-
here like nonchalant.
I'm just
And I'm stuck in the middle.
trying to be myself.
Clowns to the left of me. Jokers to the
I'm
right.
a little tired.
What was that?
Clowns to the left of me. Jokers to the right. Here
Yeah,
I am,
I
stuck
got
in
a
the.
clown
Yeah,
over here
yeah.
and a joker over
Well,
here, or it might be, I don't know which way it is
well, if that's the
anymore.
case, Joker is on the right when we're looking at it.
So I got a clown over here and a joker.
You said it right the first time. Clown's on the left of me. That's right.
Yeah, clown on the left, joker on the right. But
Well, yeah.
sometimes
Well, haha.
dude, I'm the girl in the equation. I don't know.
But you got the clown
Stand
right
in.
here.
Yeah, so are you the clown or are you the joker?
I'm the clown.
In the middle.
Boy, he ain't the joker.
He ain't
Stuck
funny.
in the middle with you. I don't got that laugh.
So,
I got the clown laugh.
I don't know, Michelle.
It's a crazy lily pad water.
Yeah.
So next question: are you
Yes.
guys planning on going into comedy anytime? No.
Maybe.
We could definitely do some comedy.
We might be able to do a 3-piece act for comedy.
Be funny.
Yeah.
I ain't tried to, but
Hey,
we
Brad
could
Jory,
definitely do it.
if you're watching, we want a comedy act at Rockwell Wing.
Hmm.
Throw it out there. You asked. I mean,
Shout out to Brandon.
Brandon.
Or
Who
Brad.
the fuck's Brandon?
Brad.
Yeah, I bopped him in the head because I have no clue who Brandon is.
I mean, I know some Brandons. You know, in fact, I had a Brandon on interview shortly after I first started this.
oh wow.
For Rockwell Wing, though?
No, not for Rock Wing.
Well, that's the thing. He was like, shout out to Brandon from Rockwell Wayne. Who's Brandon?
Brad.
Brad.
It was supposed to be Brad. So I bopped him in the forehead. You saw it on live.
I didn't see
mean,
anything. I didn't see
No,
anything.
she hits all the time.
I do not hit y'all all the time.
You do when you feel like you need to.
Well, she feels like she needs to when you guys make her feel like she does. So, next question.
Yeah. Yes. Next question, Michelle.
Nick,
What's up?
if you're looking for a recording studio, what would you look for that? Like what kind of traits, qualities, equipment, whatever? What do you look for?
I'm looking for somebody that has more than what I have at my disposal. Because I've got a 32 channel board my damn self.
Hmm.
So I'm looking for somebody that knows their things and can make us sound the way that we need to sound when we come out of the studio. It's not about who's doing it. It's about who has the gumption to make us become better than what we are. Because, like, I love Scott from the Bowman, and
Hmm.
he's got the recording studio that's up above the Bowman.
Hmm.
And I would love to go and do some work for him and have him do it.
Absolutely.
But what's that going to take? Is it going to take us putting something out there and having it on the radio before Scott decides to go ahead and join in on the deal and promote us? I mean, quite honestly, we've got a couple different opportunities that we could actually be recording in right now. We're just doing it in house right now.
like we mentioned Freitas earlier, and I guess he's done some work with this person. It's Ethan Cantrell. He's a musician out of Owasso that is currently offering free live recordings. Certain days of the month, you have to book it in advance. Owasso, as you know, is a drive for us. So that's like a 4-hour drive.
It's like driving to you.
Well, no, it's further because Owasso's up there by Sparrowhawk.
No, that was not going to her house.
Well,
I had a major drive.
well, that's because you picked up Ethan and then picked up Raven and then went there. So yeah, that was a drive. But it's like a 3 to 4 hour drive from us to Owasso. But he's currently offering a free first time recording live. It's free. Well, for a band that's just getting started, that's an awesome thing.
Mm-hmm.
It is.
I mean,
you just don't know.
We don't know him, but you know, he's coming recommended from our buddy Joe Freitas. You know, and up and coming bands don't necessarily have the money to put out for recordings that are mixed, mastered. We've looked into some down here around us, and it's like $2,500 for an hour.
That's ridiculous.
One song mixed and mastered, and you better get it right or close to right in an hour so that they can mix and master it.
Yeah, otherwise
That's-
you charge 2 hours.
That's a lot of
Or
money.
1 hour.
That's a lot of money for an up and coming band that does most of their shows benefit style, where we don't make money. The money we would make goes to something else.
100%. There's a lot of those shows.
At least not that much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of those shows that we do that we don't never see any money from it.
Like our biggest pay, I think, as a band
Was from the income, and it was like $57.
No, 67.
$67.
Even
They
though,
got
even
split between, they got split between 3. So
even so, that's not enough to pay for that recording studio.
Yeah,
No.
you know,
And-
So we can't even put our money together to go to a recording studio.
you know,
And
because
on top
we
of
want
that-
the all ages venues, it makes it to where we're not getting as many people in because it's not a bar
Yeah.
or a club that on a Friday or a Saturday
They don't
night
have alcohol sitting there for people
that
to
they're
buy.
charging $5 per person to get in, and the band gets part of that. But they've also
No,
got
let's go
alcohol
the
in
real
there.
Spectrum, $10 a person to get in, no alcohol. They've got refreshments. They've got everything else except for, but it's still $10 to get in. So, yes, the bands at the end of the night
Split the door.
split the door, and that's cool to me. It's cool to everybody, I think.
Yep.
Because
It still gets us out there. It gets us on stage.
without being able to play out in the public, we ain't going nowhere.
Mm-mm. So when it comes to the recording and having to pay hundreds of thousands of dollars an hour or per session or whatever, with the rise of digital music and the push away of
Can-
CDs and stuff like that, is it worth it using recording studios anymore?
Hold on.
It is, because the recording studio is going to mix and master, make it perfect to go out
Can
on.
I play something?
Hold on. to go out onto Spotify or whatever when that's their job.
That's what they're being paid for.
When, let's say, a band has 2 hours together during a week to record stuff, we all have either daytime or nighttime jobs. We're not all necessarily computer savvy.
I'm daytime and these two are nighttime.
Hold on. But we're not all necessarily computer savvy. We don't know exactly how it needs to work to mix, master as a recording studio would. Sometimes, yes, it is better to just pay for them to do it. But at the same time, it's not, because then they have some rights to your music.
So, can I play something?
Is it one of yours?
Yes.
Yeah, it's something. It don't have vocals, but it.
No, it is 100% one of
No copyrights, anything like that?
Huh?
No copyrights?
No, it is ours.
It's original.
It's 100% original.
Mm-hmm.
He's trying to get it there. Can you hear it, Michelle?
I hear snare drum.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to stop it. Because then we come from original music to Sedated. Sedated is one of the covers that we do also do.
Well, did they like to do?
I love to do that song.
I hate doing Sedated.
Yeah, because it makes her fucking use her voice 100%. And I'm going to point it out that way. I'm going to put her on blast.
No, it's not even in my voice. It's my lung.
No, it ain't.
Sing Sedated. Anybody that's watching, sing Sedated. Now try doing it in half breath.
Okay, you quit living on that. I know it's what you live, but not everybody else can fathom with you on that.
Exactly. So that's why I don't like doing Ramones. It is so
I love
fast.
doing the Ramones because it is so fast and nobody does it.
I like doing the Ramones. Don't get me wrong. But I have an issue because I can't breathe by the end of it and then have to go into another song.
All right.
One lung vocalist, keep in mind.
Next.
I'm gonna pick these up for a second while I ask this next one because I'm getting a bad echo. I can hear myself. So, when it comes to doing solos, so like, let's go to Jose Picker over there. When it comes to doing solos, do you think it should be like as written? Like if it's going to be something that's written to a song, whether it's yours or somebody else's, you think it needs to be as written, or do you put your own heart and soul into it and make it your own?
That's what it needs to be.
You damn well try.
It has to be from feeling, for sure, because you're taking even if it's somebody else's music, you're taking and you're interpreting it in your own voice. A solo is nothing more than just like a vocalist singing, or a drummer playing fills. It goes along with the same thing. That's how I feel my solos. I'm trying to get to my solos where it needs to be, but and is learning how to put it together is the hardest battle there is. It seems like to where to fit it in. And there's a lot of bands I heard that some of them wait to do solos when it's like already in being mastered, and then they add the solos later. Sometimes it's just the raw rhythm of the song that matters.
The real rhythm of the song is what matters.
So
Because
back to solo.
you can't do a solo, and that's from the drum spectrum or the guitar spectrum.
Yeah.
If it's not already there, it doesn't present the opportunity to become a solo.
Yeah.
And yes, I have to speak on this on the drummer side of things because
We do a lot of drum solos.
I do drum solos. And I don't like to declare that I'm better than anybody else in this band. This is our band. This is what we as a whole
Don't squeeze, it hurts.
have made. And that's why the question you asked earlier about where everybody else needs to be, and Crystal piped up and said that she'd want me somewhere else. I disagree.
Well, we're way off that topic.
No, this is the same topic. Because I understand where she's coming from, but I don't. Because I'd rather be here with them instead of off on the road with somebody else. I want to make our band become something. And if I'm off on the road with somebody else, I can't be part of that. And it hurts. Just like it hurt when I had turned things down in the past. But it hurts. You get over it. You keep going. And I've done exactly that.
You're backtracking.
No, I'm not.
I can't answer that question because I don't do solos.
Yeah, she does.
Woohoo!
You do have solos. When we do dropouts, you do have solos.
I don't consider them solos. It might be a dropout, but they're still
You're
playing.
the only one singing.
Yeah.
When we drop out,
I don't consider it a solo. So
it's a solo because we make her own her own solos, and that's why we do the dropouts that we do. This is part of our entity. Is yes, we got a guitar solo, we got a drum solo, but we have a vocal solo at the same time because we just drop out and let her make her do it. And I hate saying make her do it because she knows what's coming when we do it. So a solo on your spectrum. Give it up.
He's done told on you.
I don't see it as a solo.
It is a solo. Because when we both are not there and you're still singing, it's still a solo.
I don't see it as a solo, but that's me.
So,
Michelle, you need to talk some sense into her. Because she don't know what the hell she's talking about.
Next question, please.
okay, so back over there to
Back
Jose
over there to
Pecker.
Mr. Tucker,
You
you
mentioned
mentioned
that you'll,
that you'll.
and yes, that's how
Yes,
he
that's
can be
how you
found
can
on
be found
Facebook.
on
By the way, is
Facebook, by the
Jose
way, is
Pecker.
for Tucker.
And that's how he's
But
found on
But
Facebook. So,
uh, so,
so,
God, that echo.
God,
That's
that's
weird.
that's
So
good.
when it
So
comes
when it comes
to the
to
ones
the
that
ones
you was
that
talking about,
you talked about,
has written a
has written a
song,
song,
mastering and all
mastering and
that,
all
and
that,
then
and
make it
then
so.
make
Do you
it
think
so.
that's
You
something
think
that
that's something that
would work
would
if,
work
like,
if, like,
you write the
you write the
song
song
and then you leave
and
it
then you leave
open
it open
for
pillows
live
for live
performances,
performances,
just not
just
something
not
that's
something
on the
that's
album?
on the album.
Think something like
Think
that
something like that
is
we
is
plausible.
plausible.
Yeah, I would say something like that could be plausible for
have,
sure.
we have.
Yeah.
We do that a lot.
Yeah, we actually quite do that quite a bit. For sure. You pretty much hit that.
Yeah, we've got a
Yeah.
lot in the works, just ain't done yet.
Well, just we'll say, for example, at Bowman, the way John came into Sweet Voodoo is
Was
not the way we normally play it.
was wrong.
I gotta jump the gun on that one.
No, it was awesome, and it got because I was like, you guys might recognize where we drew the inspiration from, and he went into
Got that out.
Sweet Dreams,
Yeah.
and the crowd went ecstatic, and then it changed,
Yeah, because then our song hit.
you know. And Sweet Voodoo is a mash of Sweet Dreams and Voodoo. But it was something that we don't do in practice, so it kind of caught me off guard. It caught Nick off guard, but we ran with it. So that's something, that is left out and or would be left out in a studio performance as versus doing it live.
It's 100% true. Yep. Because in a studio performance, it would not be even recognized that it was even there.
Hey, let's do it again.
So, Crystal, I'll
So,
ask you
Chris,
this
I
next
see
one,
this next one,
and this one's not on
and
the
this one's
list.
not on the list.
Please
Surprise!
ask
Not
me
on,
questions.
not on the list.
No.
It's not on the list.
It's
It's
not on the
surprise.
list. It's a surprise.
Oh, yay.
When it comes
When
to
it comes to
tickets for
tickets
shows,
for shows,
whether it's
whether
in
it's
your
in your
hometown or
hometown
a
or
state
a
away,
state away,
would you
with
paper tickets,
paper
tickets,
tickets,
combination?
combination.
What do you think?
What do you think?
Which do you think's better,
I
e-tickets or paper
think
tickets?
Tickets or paper tickets?
I think it should be a combination
Oh,
Oh,
because maybe the band gets there a day early and is able to go around and sell paper.
mhm.
But maybe hometowners would prefer a digital ticket and they're going to be traveling that direction, especially if it's an out of state thing. I think it needs to be a combination of both, personally, because if you have the time while you're in the area, say the band gets there a day or two early and can go around and meet people and be like, hey, we're playing at such and such place, with such and such bands. And that always seems to work better when there's a band local to the area that people know. Like, if we were to go to Tulsa, being from South Central Oklahoma, and go to Tulsa and try and sell tickets to a show, and we only told them it was us and no bands from Tulsa that people in that area knew, tickets aren't gonna sell, in my opinion. People in the Tulsa area are gonna want to see
People from that area.
a band that they know from the area. So, like, there's no way I would go and try and sell tickets to a show from in Tulsa
I would.
from bands from nothing but Southern Oklahoma. And West, we had, let's see, who else from Tulsa? Grave Pepper was Tulsa.
Joplin.
Tulsa.
Freitas is Tulsa area within, like a 30-mile. There was a couple others.
Grave Hooker was not my favorite person.
But no, Grave Pepper, Freitas is Tulsa. Neanderthal Jones is Tulsa area. And you could even throw Crimson Love in there because they are also from the Tulsa area.
100%.
And there are bands that play at places like Badass Renee's.
Which we have not played. We've been offered, but we weren't able to get it all off because we all still work a job.
And Badass Renee's is a place that is apparently really, really popular in Tulsa area. So if you have a band on your lineup that say has played there, and you're going up to Tulsa trying to sell tickets for a show in Tulsa with one of the bands that have played there, you're more likely to be able to sell paper tickets. Our area,
We need some shit down
paper tickets are not gonna fly. People are gonna be like, oh, well, yeah, we'll do some digital tickets. That way they're not getting lost. Or maybe they're transferable and they can give them to somebody else if they can't make it. And I think that's the downfall about down here. Most places down here don't do tickets. They just do a cover charge
at the door. But we don't have very many places that we can actually play down here either.
Yeah.
Which makes it really hard for us as a band to start coming up because there's nowhere to play because nobody's doing it.
The last bar we had in our county that had live music closed down January 4th.
Yeah, right after we did our last show there.
So it makes it a little bit more difficult. But I think paper and virtual tickets are the better way to go for a band, in my opinion. Because you can do the virtual when you're not in that area, do the paper while you're there. Because not all bands are going to go out and try and sell tickets, period.
No. All right. How many people do you know that go and flyer for their own show? Let me ask you that question, Michelle.
I know one band that has actually gone around and put paper flyers up themselves.
And we do that.
Okay, so
every time we do income in Norman, I personally go and flyer.
You and our kids. So our next show is in the middle of Norman Music Fest.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going into Norman Music Fest and flyering Norman Music Fest.
He's going after work and he's meeting up with the venue owner. And I'm sure our kids will probably end up there as well. And they're going to hand flyers to anybody that'll take one.
Yep.
Because
it's about getting yourself out there. If we're not willing to do it, nobody else is willing to do it.
Right.
And me being a band mate, I'm willing to do it. I'll take the time out my Friday evening
I'll be at work
since
anyway.
Crystal's going to be at work any damn way to go walk around Norman Music Fest and hand out flyers
Now,
for
mind
our
you,
show on Saturday.
now,
100%.
mind you, this is like a cover at the door, or you can go on.
You can go on Ticket Stub and buy tickets for $8 now.
Yeah.
Day of show, they're $10. So, I mean, I ain't trying to get rich.
We're just trying.
I just love doing what I do.
We don't necessarily want to make money at what we do. We want to like spread the love of music to everybody.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I love you
That's why I
guys.
love you guys.
Next question,
Mwah.
please. Let's get
So,
the heart wrenching stuff, please, Michelle. The heart
I
wrenching
didn't.
stuff is hard to answer.
I didn't hear what you
I didn't hear
said.
what you said.
I said the heart wrenching stuff is harder to answer.
That's why I throw it in
That's why I
there.
threw it in there. So,
I know you. I
No,
know
Let's
that's
have fun
why.
with this one.
no, that's why you said that question.
Okay, so we're gonna do
We're
this.
gonna do this.
Nick, we're gonna start
Nick, we'll
with you
just
on
start
this
with
one.
you
Then
on
we're
this
gonna
one.
pass
Then
it
we're
on
gonna
down.
pass it on down.
Oh God.
Pick
Pick
one thing
one thing
with the music
for the
community,
music community,
whether it's the
whether it's the
fans,
fans,
fellow
fellow
bands,
bands,
venues,
venues,
promoters,
promoters,
band
band
managers,
managers,
whatever. It
what
doesn't matter. Pick one aspect of the industry that you think you have. You guys hear me okay? Are you guys able to hear me okay?
No.
Go ahead.
Her dad's trying to
No,
call
that
in
was
again.
Thomas.
Oh, okay. Hey, the echo's gone.
All right.
Cool.
Go ahead.
Okay. Pick one thing that you feel that needs to be discussed that you don't think is being discussed enough, that you feel needs to be addressed, and just pass it down the line.
Okay. Well, we have a problematic point on. I know you just seen the picture last night of the one that I revamped, and I'm planning on playing that my next couple shows.
Mm-hmm.
That CBSP series. I know it's a student. I know it's an amateur kid, but I'm gonna play the crap out of it. And when it comes to what I normally play, is much bigger than what I'm going to be playing. But I want people to know that I'm not this big ass drummer that has to sit behind his rack and play everything that's always in the same place. Because it doesn't happen that way. Sometimes you don't have a piece. Sometimes you leave a piece behind. Sometimes you leave a hi-hat behind. Sometimes you leave your damn stool behind. That becomes the biggest problematic part. Is when you leave your stool behind, you ain't got nowhere to sit.
I,
So
Nick, back in high school, jazz band, we loaded the band bus, got all the way to wherever it was at for a contest.
bring
Not
it,
a
Michelle.
performance, but a contest.
What's that?
We forgot the legs to the floor tom.
Mm-hmm. That
Had to put it
happens.
on. Had to put it on a road case, which actually changes the sound of the tom. But
Yep, it does.
things happen.
But
Things happen.
you have to get over it. You have to
Okay.
come up
Oh, just
from
stay on
that.
as soon as possible,
You-
okay?
Hmm.
Forget about
I
it being
thought-
a
I
negative.
thought
Let's
something
turn it
was
into a
wrong.
positive.
Calling you back.
All right. Now we have an alternative sound to a floor tom.
All right. Do that Dutch and then head home. Okay. All right. Bye.
I'm not opposed to it.
Hmm.
I've done things with much less. It's just one of those, as we're establishing our new roots to become the band that we are going to become, because we're not quite there yet, but we are getting there. And I'll own that. I don't know if these two will, but I'll own it.
Why are you pointing at me? They didn't.
I'm pointing at both of you. I know what the hell I'm capable of.
Off topic.
But if they're not capable of it, I'm not going to force them into it.
Right.
So therefore, we have to come to a common medium that, all right, well, we push this off to the wayside. And then we do something that we're more familiar with, and they feel more comfortable with it, and it makes it easier for them. It's not about me. It's never been about me, and it will never be about me. They can try to make it about me. It's not me. Without them, I'm nothing.
Mhm. So how
I just
about
walked out in front of the screen. I'm gonna let John go
okay?
next.
Yeah.
Uh, can you repeat the question, please?
Yes.
I was intrigued to what Nick was saying, so I was listening. I'm sorry.
That's fine. And so one thing that needs to be addressed within the music industry, no matter whether it's the fans, fellow bands, um,
Yeah.
music venues, whatever, it doesn't matter as long as it's part of the music industry. If it needs to be said, you don't think it's said enough, here's your opportunity to say it. What needs to be addressed? And to who?
Always be prepared. I think that's always a good. Never, double check your stuff. Always make sure everything's in tune the way you want it to do. Have a really good attitude. Treat people, like people, not like
Hmm.
like in general, like for sure. That's the way. Just always be prepared. That's the best thing for anything on a personal level, on a musical level, artist level, musician level, uh, everything. Just always be prepared. I think that needs to be said more than anything, and always treat people the way you would like to be treated. And our business, it has to be like that. We got to pass it on. You got to lift everybody up.
Yes.
My turn?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
why I said what I said.
Okay, my turn. Same
It's not
question,
about me.
correct?
Yes. Absolutely.
A musician is a musician. Doesn't matter if they're male, female, bi, straight, gay. They should be treated with the same respect.
Should be.
I've encountered other musicians that because I'm a female can't do rock, can't do this, can't do that. I'm a female musician.
Understanding.
Me being a girl shouldn't determine if I'm a musician or not.
Mm-mm.
You know, and that is my biggest thing to put out to other bands, especially because I haven't had that issue from venues, but it's been other bands that would talk to my bandmates because they're guys, but wouldn't talk to me. I'm still a musician. Just because I have long hair, boobs, and a vajayjay
I don't know if you go there.
doesn't mean I'm not a musician.
Yeah, and
Look
look
at
at the band
Amy
Skillet.
Lee. No, nobody would give Amy Lee the disrespect that I have received. They would swarm her. Amy Lee was once named
Hmm.
a no name,
Nobody.
a nobody, somebody with a dream. What makes her any different than me other than she has a recording label?
It's the only difference.
Hmm.
That's the only difference. She has a recording label, I don't. I'm still a female musician, just like even in the production world, there are people that are set out or bands that are set out for a female to fill.
Hmm.
They would prefer to work with a man.
This is
What
one of those
makes
circumstances.
a man any better? Nothing.
Hmm.
Nothing makes a man any better. So why want the female to fill? And that's where my biggest issue seems to be here lately with the music industry, at least over the last couple of years, is it's like if you weren't a female and popular
Nobody wants
before
nobody wants
COVID,
nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
you're nothing.
Well, that makes us all nothing because it's one or all.
Well,
It's
that's
all
the
of us
thing. And
or
it
not.
shouldn't be that way. A musician is a musician.
Hmm.
There's black female rappers, there's white male rappers, there's black female rock stars, black country rock stars, black male country. You know, it don't matter your color, your sex, anything else. You are a musician. So why single people out because of a race, color, sexuality, ethnicity
Hmm.
when it didn't happen? And that is my biggest issue
Hmm.
because I've experienced it firsthand, being the only female at a concert. And
She doesn't experience it firsthand by herself, though.
but I do because
You
they
do,
talk to you.
That's because I make people talk to me.
No, I would
It ain't about
hold on.
people
This
just
is a
wanting to
me
talk to me.
answer. This is a me answer. And that's my nice way of telling you to shut the F up without telling you to shut the F up.
And I think it's wrong because I was
But
just trying to give you a little bit of
I
other
know
insight, and you don't want to hear it, so I'm gonna leave it alone.
I had some band members that got onto their, or you know, not my band members. My band members tell everybody to talk to me. That you know, don't touch me, but talk to me. I'm a married woman. You don't touch a married woman.
Hmm.
But other band members would get on to their band members for not acknowledging me, and they would turn around and walk off. Well, I'm still a musician,
Hmm.
and I don't get why other musicians, yes, I'm not your genre. I don't sing screamo or rap
Get over it.
But why does that make me less than you? I'm still getting on that same stage.
Hmm.
So why does it matter that I have different body parts, I
I
guess?
don't think that even
But they wouldn't acknowledge me as
make it
a
makes
fellow
it
band member
ridiculous. Dude. I'm
or
sure
a fellow musician. And I think
And so this is
as
where I'm gonna give a shout out to Zach Rockus.
he's going to shout out Zach because Zach,
Zach put people in his band in place for this same reason.
and I wasn't even trying to call out anybody.
She didn't
But
have
dude,
to, but Zach did the work for her.
Zach Rockus made me feel like a
Comfortable at
musician.
home.
Zach is an amazing person.
Zach is an amazing person. I
Michelle,
love Zach. Zach
if
is
you
awesome.
can at least tag Zach in this to let him know, like, Zach, that night, and I'm not even saying what night, made me feel
Welcome.
welcomed as a musician. So did Hawk.
Hawk's another good guy.
But those are the only two, and I'm going to say that night that would even talk to me.
Wow.
And
being the lead vocalist of a band that was opening for everybody.
I got to talk to Hawk and Zach. Any other band member I tried talking to, they snubbed me. And that's why I feel this way. It doesn't matter if you're a guy or a girl, if you're an Amy Wee or a Kurt Cobain,
Well, neither. So,
you're a musician. Musicians should support other musicians no matter bi, straight, gay, male, female, black, white, purple, pink, green, I don't care.
that's the whole deal with musicians supporting musicians to make musicians keep doing what they do.
Like we had a show after the one that made me feel like poo because none of the other musicians would talk to me.
And we had a great time at it.
What they don't know is I almost canceled it.
Yeah, I wish you would. I'm glad that you fucking didn't. Because it became like the best show that we've done.
I almost canceled it because other musicians had that same standing that a former bandmate did, that girls can't be in rock bands or alternative bands. And I had said earlier that my idols were like Loretta Lynn and people like that. The old country.
Idols.
That's what I grew up listening to. But one of my biggest influences since I became an adult has been Amy Lee.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me, I am no Evanescence. But I try.
You try to be you.
But yes, I try to do her but me. Because I know I can't be her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot, as a female, in the, I don't know what genre you would classify as, because we've got that country, rock, hip hop sometimes. I'll throw some rap mixture in there once in a while. I don't even know what you call us.
I call you the froggy genre.
The froggy genre.
We are the frogs. That's all there is to say about it.
You're a whole new genre.
We might be a new genre because we do a little bit of all of it. And I love doing it, but it's the ones.
She loves doing it, but she hates doing it at the same time.
Because I get more negative than positive feedback. I get a lot of the girls can't do this, girls can't do that, girls can't sing this, girls can't play that. And in the music industry, it shouldn't be that way.
Mm-mm.
He just told me to get on the drums.
Get on the drum.
I'm not getting on the drums
Show
tonight.
them people what the fuck they're talking about because they're not talking the language.
Well,
100%.
and that's something people don't know about me, is I can keep a beat on the drums. I can keep a
Well,
pretty
thanks.
good beat on the drums.
That's all it takes.
Now, you asked me to go adding in the fucking cymbals, and I'm lost. You keep me on drums and the hi-hat. I can go through the rotos. Yes, rotos. High tom, floor toms. I just can't do cymbals. I'm not a cymbal girl. But I can play the drums as long as I don't have to hit a fucking cymbal other than the hi-hat.
Cymbals is what breaks the monotony. Yep.
They might be what breaks the monotony, but I can't play the drums if I have to hit the cymbals.
We need to not have this conversation while we're on and on.
Well, you brought it up.
I'm just telling you. Straight up.
He was saying we couldn't have this conversation while we're on a live. He brought it up.
Because you believe it that way.
I believe a girl can do anything a boy can.
I believe that you can too.
Not me, any girl.
That means any girl. It's not just a you deal.
And
I know what both my other parties are capable of doing on a drum set.
well,
And
Michelle asked the question.
I welcome it with open arms. I'm willing to jump on the damn bass guitar.
Well, Michelle
do
already
what I
knew
do.
you already knew the answer to this question. I'd asked you if it was going to be bad, me answering the way I was going to.
If what was bad? If what would be bad?
The way I would answer this question. My biggest
It's not bad.
issue with no, and it's not, but it
You
is
answered
in
it
a way.
exactly the way you needed to.
I'm not calling anybody out. I gave props to those that needed props. You know, but it's something that needs to be addressed. You know, not all musicians, and I know nowadays most bands are guys.
That's wrong.
But that doesn't mean that's all that can be a musician or in a band.
No.
Mm-mm. I mean, I could name several infall. You know, Sparrow.
Do I
She's an amazing.
We got Ginger, we got Evanescence, we
Like
got Lizzie
my
Hale. I could name probably 10 more.
like my
How about
first
local
mosh
Fist of
pit.
Rage?
My first mosh pit was Ginger, female vocalist.
You were there for that.
I'm sorry
Yeah,
to
take
rock
us all the
one
hot
more
dog.
time.
Yeah, I saw the
I'm
hot dog in
sorry,
that too.
Oklahoma hot dog. We beat you up and then shot you out.
I heard that the hot dog enjoyed that though.
Okay, as long as the hot dog enjoyed it,
That's my understanding. I
you
don't know. I
know,
also heard
and
that the hot dog's just a wiener.
yeah, I've heard that too.
Got some nice buns though.
Oh my God. No, I'm stepping out.
Nobody's stepping out of that conversation.
Uh, Shout out to Oklahoma's hot dog.
You know, so like the first big band I saw with female vocalists was even before Ginger. It was my year one at Rocklahoma, and I got to see Amy Lee.
Hmm.
As a musician and a fan, I cried. Amy Lee's amazing. It's
She actually cried
everything.
several times that
We
weekend.
ain't talked about the other times I cried. Amy Lee is everything that I dreamed of being. She really is.
Hmm.
But then the following year, I got to see Ginger. Ginger is absolutely amazing. I want to
Yes,
learn
they
how
are.
to do screamo, but I've tried. You don't want to hear me try screamo. It's not pleasant.
No, I
Does it
take
sound like a
it.
bunch of frogs?
Oh no,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah, it does.
no,
It does without somebody else helping her.
no. It's not a bunch of frogs. It's like a bunch of cats trying to get out of a fucking cloth bag. It's bad. Not a paper bag, a cloth bag.
With the tails tied
It's
together.
not
Wait, no, we
good.
don't.
You just made that way worse than what I think it needs to be.
I can't scream. I'm a country girl. Country girls don't scream out.
It is my wife. So
Unless we're Suey and the pigs or come on and the goats. We don't scream out.
Oh, guys, it's been an amazing night.
Oh God. Yeah, she just changed that flip. She just flipped that script 100%.
And guess what? When I re-upload this, nothing's getting edited. It's just everybody's gonna get to
Don't edit
see.
anything. It's gonna be hilarious.
People
Oh
are
yeah.
gonna see who we really are.
Yeah, they're gonna see us as a band that's a family
Hmm.
talking
A
to our
dysfunctional family, but
Right.
I mean, but we're talking to our friendly. You're not just our friend, you're our family, Michelle.
thank you.
Family.
Now I do gotta say to
Friendly.
everybody. Okay, I do gotta say to everybody. Please be advised that when they're up on stage, they don't act like that. Like they get up there, they play the music, they have fun. No
We have
comedy show as of yet.
If you want comedy, holler it out in the crowd and maybe we can crack a few jokes.
Yeah, I'm not opposed to it. Yeah.
Crowd work.
You got to. Otherwise, you're just another band that's on stage. You
Mhm.
have to become your own entity,
You have to get the crowd involved.
and you have to
Yes.
pull the crowd into you to make it happen. I mean, this is the way that the world's worked for many years. This is nothing new.
Mhm.
This one's 2.5 hours.
Hey, you know
I'm
what?
trying to end it.
It's 2.5
Uh,
hours.
looks like Jose Pecker's over there sleeping. Oh,
No,
hi.
he was
No,
like,
he's not asleep.
at least now he thought.
No, not.
He wasn't asleep, but all right.
Look, this isn't
If we
church.
can name this, hey, all I have to say is ribbon and roll.
Ribbon roll.
Yes.
We'll be there, and we're gonna keep doing what we do. Bad Frogz
So,
Rising.
Frogz
so
Rizing.
I need to get a spotlight then, a searchlight with a frog on it instead of Batman.
Yep.
Yeah, that might be
That's awesome.
the opportunity.
I'm fixing. I am fixing to make some buttons, Michelle, and I'm going to get you one, and they're going to have frogs on them.
Yep. As they always say, be there or be square.
All right. So how can people find you on social media?
We have a Facebook group, a Facebook page.
We've also got
We have TikTok,
a TikTok
Yeah, TikTok,
YouTube.
and a YouTube.
and the YouTube.
Okay.
The
And
YouTube is gonna pronounce some things from my past.
Yeah.
But what John did was he turned his YouTube page into the Bad Frog page. So therefore, everything on his YouTube page before he turned it to the Bad Frog page is still on that page. So you can get a lot of me with my old band from Illinois, and then you're gonna get a lot of us from our new age.
okay.
I will post the different links on the video once it's shared for our group and our page for anybody that wants to follow or like, share, comment, whatever. Because one of them, the eyes in Rising or eyes, the other one, they're exclamation points. Thanks to a former bandmate and us having to start a new page.
You know, and I wanted them exclamation points in the first place.
That I'll get them posted.
Okay. So I'll get everything started uploading before I go to bed, and I'll finish it tomorrow morning. So
That's cool.
Sounds good.
These long ones, they took forever to upload. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys. If you've watched this far, I hope you enjoyed the laughs, and I hope you enjoyed the interview with these guys. I've known these guys for a little bit now. Amazing people. Thank you guys again for being on here.
I'll do it again anytime.
Thank you, St. Andrews Productions.
You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen, wish you all a good night. And Bad Frogs, I'll see you guys here in just a second.
All right.
We'll talk to you in a minute.
All right. Good night, everybody.